All right, I think we recording. I'm in a different room today, so
Hey,
you'll
okay.
probably hear every and anything. Forgive me. Um, so the topic I think we said is how in tuned are you? Um, and I wanted to start off with today a card fell out of my dresser. A random card,
Okay.
and the card is the butterfly, which is an oracle card,
Mm-hmm.
and the numerology number is 10. Before we go into what the back of the card means, the butterfly was like a totem animal for me when I lived in West Palm. Remember when we used to go in your garden, we used to always see the swallowtails, and I'd be like, oh my goodness, I never seen it until I really came to your garden, your front yard. And so it was just so random to me for this to fall out. But it says, allow yourself to leave behind the past and what is no longer necessary so you can truly be the person you have worked hard to become. When I thought about this and when I seen this, it's so funny because of how in tune you and I are. I thought about the knee pains that you've been having. And then also I thought about the knee pains that I've been having. And now it's your teeth. So, and I don't have no teeth in the back. I thought about what happened, in the beginning of January for you last year. And then I thought about my knee pain that also began in December, January of this year for me. And when I thought about it, um, and the pain in specific areas, needs are to propel you forward. So when you in the middle of a crossroad or you trying to make a decision, you reflect on the past before you make the decision. And a lot of times we don't want to let things go and we have things behind us that we want to bring with us forward, but not always can propel it with us forward. And with our inability to make the decision to propel forward creates ailments within the body. And I felt like going back to or piggybacking to our conversation from the last episode about wanting to be here and all of these things, right? But I was focusing on all of the past things and not focusing on all of the blessings and blessings and everything that I have now. So the same situation like with you, you want to, I still want to do community things, but do I want to be attached to these things? Or, if I'm being attached to these things, is it stopping me from opening the things that I'm supposed to do in my purpose? And how does that show up for you? And ailments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when this card, and when I tell you, I haven't touched my cards in a while, in a while. So when this card fell out with the butterfly, I said, okay, that's telling me I need to retreat because the butterfly has to go through a metamorphosis. It has to go in its cocoon. It has to reassess, drop everything that it once knew from eating all the time, over consuming. It has to let it go because when it was a caterpillar, that's what it did, right? It ate, it ate, it ate. And then it was time to go into its metamorphosis in its cocoon. So during this cocoon, everything that's done in dark, meaning the seeds that you plant, I'm not talking about the skeletons in the closet and all of that. I'm talking about the seeds that you literally plant to propel you forward to turn into something beautiful. You have to go through that cocoon stage. So when you think about it, is that the stage that we currently in, but it's forced and not willing. So although time is moving so fast, we are still creating something so beautiful just in the stillness of propelling the way that we want to move, but moving within our purpose. How you feel about that?
Yeah, I understand that, and I agree as well. Take for example today, dealing with this toothache over the weekend. Come Sunday evening, it eased up, but I continued to take the um, antibiotic and the pain med. But I didn't do the pain because it wasn't really hurting that much, and
Mm-hmm.
I can deal with it. And come Monday, I'm making appointment, there is no pain because now the opportunities are there for me to go ahead and do what I need to do. And my cousin did call me and she said, I'm checking on you. And she said, but I bet you that tooth ain't bothering you. I said, no, it sure isn't. But you better go ahead and make that appointment. I'm going to trust that. I don't want to have to deal with this another weekend. And it's fine. It was kind of like easing up again today. And just as um later this afternoon, I know there was something with a friend of mine had an opening. Haven't seen her in many years. I was gonna go and show up just for the opening. Um, and then there was the barrage of phone calls, from family and this is going on, that's going on. And then someone from the community it's like, okay, asking me, what are you going to do? Are we going to meet with the chief? What are you going to do? Are you going? So it's kind of like, I'm like, to me, like right now, I have no plans of doing all this extra stuff. I haven't looked at my emails because I'm not concerned about this right now. But I noticed as I was talking to him, my pain just started building up. It just started building up because I was into like the frequency of now things are being pushed on me that I don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do. I just wanted to just now just retreat and stay in the house.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, you know what? I got to make this work this year. So let me get out and make my connections and then come right back home. But like I said, and then the calls that they just come bumping on back and forth. Well, it was kind of
Mm-hmm.
like frustrating to me. But then out of it, I realized the tooth began to ache worse and worse. And so and it then relied on me. And then as I looked, as I was getting ready to pick up and go take a shower, change clothes and whatever, I looked up at the clock on the television. And it was 5:55. And I'm like, okay,
Transformation.
yeah, okay.
Transformation.
So it's like don't get hooked back into this old way of doing business within my life. There is a balance. I have to work on my balance.
Mm-hmm.
And so um balance was fine. I got up early this morning as usual and couldn't wait to get out and get in my yard and everything was fine. But I was um just so drowsy and just like I couldn't stay woke. So I just went ahead and laid down and got to sleep. As I get up, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep my promise to go out and meet this friend and come back in. But right within that 45-minute range, I can't tell you how many calls I got. Um, for different things. Something is wrong with this person. Want me to have figure out this right here. Then it just was ongoing till the tooth was became to be so annoying to me. Like now I don't want to do anything.
And look what you said. You said the first 45 minutes, right? So when we calculate, this is going into numerology. When we calculate 45, that equals a 9. It
Nine.
means completion. So then when you're in tune with not only about the completion, you're in tune with, okay, now my body's telling me that the frequency of whatever it is that I'm listening to is no longer for me. That chapter has already been completed. But because I want to go back and still be that help, but really I'm being a hindrance to myself, now I'm creating ailments within my body,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we have these connections that we want to keep and we want to bring with us so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But the soul now is like stepping in and like, you have not been listening to spirit. We have been trying to tell you, first of all, we slowed down everybody 2019, 2020. We slowed everybody down. You didn't have a choice but to listen to yourself, pick up old ancient remedies and things like that, you know, and over the years, that allowed you to have space to go into your purpose. Some people decided to walk, learn their purpose, and be divinely guided. And some people, as soon as the reality somewhat got back to how it was predated 2020, they jumped right back into what they assumed was going to be the same reality versus when you know what happened. I'm not going to say it. Versus what happened
Mm-hmm.
during that time. They're like, okay, we can get back outside now. We can do the same thing. But when you pay attention, although certain situations seem the same, the frequency of the earth is not. Time is
Mhm.
not only speeding up, our bodies are trying to adhere to all of these different frequencies of what's going on now. So that
Mhm.
means your body is trying to upgrade, trying to uphold, trying to sustain, trying to, do all of these cellular upgrades so that you can withhold all of this energy, but you refuse to rest. And so now we're forced to rest because, like when you told me earlier you was taking a nap. I haven't taken a nap, I don't know in how many years, but I'm with you. As of late, if my body want to doze, baby, I'm dozing. And I mean, I
Mhm.
am dozing comfortably, snugly, and I am sleep, but I'm up at night. So that's the new thing is I am up at night, but I do require, like, whether it's a cat nap, some rest, or something. It's almost as if your body forces you to do it because your eyes literally just, I like call it the dolphin lean, but that's it's literally like your body is, hey, you're not listening to me. I need a break right now.
Mhm.
I know you want to be in this yard. I know you want to be in the sun. I know you want to swim all day. I know you want to do all of these things. But right now, I'm going to force you to lay down. Sorry, let me tell them to hush. 1 second. My apologies. Everybody want to follow the mama wherever I go. They coming to. So I have noticed. I'm not gonna say I'm fatigued, if that's the word, but I have noticed when my body wants rest, it's going to make me rest.
Mhm.
Whether my legs start hurting, or either my eyes just won't stay open, just
Yeah.
won't.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm dealing with, and that's not normal for me. But I'm just like I'm not fighting it. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? There's always something amongst us that we're not paying attention to that needs, and I'm like, before this two start bothering me, I've got to connect something to everything. And it's
mhm,
like I saw it, there was a warning, and then there was like, oh, I just kept going. Oh, what this is, oh, I kept going. And until the point of all of a sudden I'm like, I got an earache. I'm like, this is really weird. Why all of a sudden I got an earache? But it wasn't harsh. It was like echoed and it smoothed out. It just stopped.
mhm.
2 hours later, full blown toothache.
Wow.
I was still early enough to try to get into the doctor's office, but like I said, I couldn't get an appointment because it was Friday and it was 3 o'clock, and. But anyway, um, it worked itself out. So what I think I have to do is, like you say, pay attention to your body, pay attention to the message you're getting, and
Mhm,
sometime we look at it and it says, oh, we're quick to say, oh, it's part of age.
mhm,
It don't have to be.
mhm.
The other part of it is that we get older, once we turn 20, 25, our bodies start to begin to deteriorate. People don't
Yeah,
understand that.
yeah.
It began to stop producing the nutrients and the vitamins free willed, as we were younger. So I guess that's at a stage, but nothing is explained to us as we're growing, as we're younger and growing older. They just tell you eat your vegetables. Oh, you need a vitamin, but they don't tell you why.
Mhm,
And neither do they employ you as to the length of time you have to work on yourself, to
mhm,
keep you up, keep your strength up, keep these modular, the micro cells operating, and what this one does for that one. All it is like, oh, we got to do your exercise, go for a walk. Well, that a walk is not going to cure cancer.
Yeah.
A walk is not going to cure being anemic.
Mhm.
So there's more to it than that. So
Yeah.
it comes again as part of listening to your body.
Mhm.
You sit down long enough and to listen to what's being said to your body. Listen to what it's saying is needed. You start getting a ache out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, that don't make sense. And you just keep going. But let's see. Let me think. What would cause the ache in my joint? Oh, I'm noticed I got the same ache in my foot. You know, I got an ache
Mhm.
there. Then it skipped up to my hand. Da da da. If we take the time and says, okay, back in the day, they used to tell us in nursery school, your foot bone is connected to your ankle bone
There you
connected to
go.
your leg
Your
bone, that
hip
kind of
bone,
thing.
hip bone.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a nursery rhyme, but it was also science. But that's as far
Mhm.
as they let it go until you got into biology. Then that song became reality and a science.
Mhm.
So I think it's just part of living and taking the time to research and understand what's going on with your body.
Mhm.
So,
You know how they use the term. How old were you when you learned this? So I'm like a research fanatic.
hmm
How old were you when you learned a lot of the aches and pains that we also experience could be parasitic?
oh my goodness. Um, for me,
Mhm.
I would say a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
I knew my mom used to give us castor oil and whatever, and they're like, "Oh, you eating candy, they get the worms out of you." But that was it, castor oil,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And but I was talking to a young lady, probably like 4 years ago now. Someone you
Mhm.
referred me to, and I spoke to her, and she was asking me, "So you have parasites?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" You know,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Parasites, ugh." And so I'm like, I don't eat off the ground. I don't eat from people. Da da da. And she was like, "You work in your gardens a lot. You said you work in your garden a lot. Do you wear gloves? No."
No.
And so some things like that. It's a matter of learning.
Yeah.
And after you really look at it under the microscope, well, I was looking at that yesterday,
Mhm.
and I thought about what the lady told me. I just happened to be watching something on TV yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I gotta call Sandra back and find out what was that tonic she was trying to tell me to get. So it just like, oh,
Uh-huh.
you want it when you need it, but then when
Yep.
everything's good, you don't think about it. But yeah, I think that's something that we should keep in mind and just keep repeating. And you
Yeah.
know, I look at this and I was just expressing myself to the universe and to our Heavenly Father about we don't know everything that we should know. We are only given and taught only certain things, but not the real reason behind every movement that was done before our time,
Mhm.
and why it should make sense. And I just really realize, still feel that religion is very confusing. Um, but at the same time, there is a ceremony which they're having called a Lord's Evening Meal, and I was listening to the presentation my sister sent me. But as it was speaking, is like the 144,000 and the lesser ones will reign with Christ, right?
Mhm.
So, and I'm like, so how do the mystics and the prophets fit in? Because you had people, I mean, my thoughts are all over the place.
Yeah.
Goes back into like the time of Jesus and Moses and the benefits that they had on earth and whatever, but nobody really told them they was born with these gifts and they were gifted with these gifts. For some of them, they were still on earth. And
Mhm.
then, I'm into the angels. So, I'm listening at the history of Metatron and Sanderfon. They
Mhm.
actually were humans walking on earth. And
Mhm.
now they are the angels and they're hit to assist us. Sanderford is
Yes.
to assist our prayers.
They were never meant to be worshipped.
No. So,
They were teaching you similar to Gandhi. Everything is within. Everything you need to know is within your internal universe.
Mm-hmm.
But in order, just like when you do prayer, prayer is actually in silence.
Mm-hmm.
Prayer is meditation. You can call it what you want to call it, but it's pretty much meditation. You putting out what it is that you want to accomplish. It's a call and response type situation. Each generation has its own prophet to bring them back to self, right?
Mm-hmm.
Self is really CELF or CELLF because your cells are connected to an ancient higher being. To connect to that ancient higher being is for you to be able to sit in silence so you can receive the messages. Some of us receive the messages through our ears. We'll be saying, oh, this sounds just like me talking, but it might not be you talking. Some people can see it visually through dreams or daydreaming. Some people see it through synchronies. Some people see it through colors. They see it through auras. They see it through numbers. But everything happens from within. It's an internal voice that you have to listen to. So that's why it's, are you in tune with self, right? Because if you can sit and ask for a prayer, or you're asking, some people demand during their prayer, I need this 500 now, or I need this sickness to be gone now. I need, versus saying, if you help me with this, then I promise I won't do this no more. So everybody has their own ways of how they were taught. Nobody has the correct and nobody has the wrong way, but we all have our own connection with our higher God, our higher self, our angels, our universal spiritual guides, and so much more. Because we all live in this life cycle together, right? So we all connected. But what we fail to realize is each prophet, whether you want to believe in Jesus, whether you want to believe in Moses, whether you want to believe in Noah, whoever you want to believe in as your guide, they all are spirit guides at this moment because they're no longer in the physical realm of where you're at, right?
Mm-hmm.
They all were teaching you how to connect with your higher guide, which is God in the universe, your angels, right? And your spirit guides. But there's so much distraction. But what Jesus was sent here to show you was, regardless of all the distractions, we can come together under a tent. We can come together by a tree. There's no physical building where we can't come and commune and connect with God.
Mm-hmm.
So even with all of these distractions that we're having now, regardless of all the distractions, as long as I have my internal thought process and my connection with whoever my spirit team is, then there's no distraction that could really impede in keeping me from my connection, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, who is the people's guides at this present moment? Because you have a lot of people that left church, but what do they believe in? What is the knowing that they have? Now they know that there's no separation between God and I, right? Because we are the all. It's I and I, right? So when you question about the church or when you question about the temples, they all have one similar thing, and it's they still believe in a higher power, regardless of what you may call that prophet during whatever season, whatever time. They all were sent here to guide you back to self. Self meaning internal God and your higher connection with God. So it's really all how you interpret. Because again, I grew up, Baptist Methodist. My grandmother was Catholic, but my mom was both spiritual. Then she had some Islamic practices, and then she also had, where we practice spirituality. because there's no separation between the two. Because within the Bible, it talks about spirit, it talks about crystals, it talks about herbs. What was protection? Myrrh and frankincense. I mean, that's throughout the entire Bible. So people try to separate spirituality and church, but there's no separation because in order for you to catch the Holy Spirit, you connect them with something. In order for you to pray, that's a meditation and you're summoning something because praying is summoning. It's not, I mean, you can call it what you want to call it, but you literally sitting in silence, closing your eyes, is you trying to get an answer for something you're requesting. Who are you requesting it from? You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
there's really no separation. I just don't, the thing that was very confusing for me that took me a long time to understand was, again, there's no separation between spirit and God because God is spirit. And then you had to unlearn the thing about God is a jealous God. How can God be jealous of everything that he's created? And you telling me envy, if envy is a part of the seven deadly sins, that's very contradictorial. So I mean, you have to question a lot of these things and if they align and make sense, or are they contradictory to keep you within a box?
Yeah. My thing is that I really like researching, and my thoughts for today were, oh, you know what? I want to check two or three ancient Bibles against the scriptures that
Mhm.
I grew up with, and and then research it and get a clear reading of that. Although I understand the Bible has been written over, transcribed over, um, 3 or 4 times, so
Mhm.
therefore the wordings are changed, and things like that uh, is that I'm not gonna get any deeper into that than that. But anyway, my mind is always questioning and thinking and seeking for answers, and for clarity.
Mhm.
It's not leaning on my own understanding, nor of the words that coming out of someone else's mouth. So
Mhm.
it's a good feeling when I can research and find answers myself. And
Absolutely.
two, I lean on my angels to guide me and show me, you know, um,
Mhm.
what direction I need to do. What's my next step? What is it that I need to do? So yeah. So I think too, with getting back to the frequencies and keeping, again, I think the word of the year for me is balance.
Yes.
It just stay in balance and all aspects of life. Self-care versus what I'm working, and how I'm dealing with those in the community as well. So
Mhm.
that's my thing, to stay balanced.
Mhm.
And it's just so easy to say, just I have to catch myself every now and then. And I'm like, okay, you need to stay balanced now. Okay, don't get too far into this. Uh,
Mhm.
Because sometimes when we overthink, we um, end up confusing ourselves
Mhm.
when we overthink. And only thing it is, I always try to look at the pros and cons of any concept that come across my mind, or thoughts, or whatever someone says. One thing about me, I will respect everyone's opinion because it's theirs. I
Mhm.
can't tell you how to think or how to feel because
Mhm.
I didn't create you, so I don't know what makes you tick. And
Right.
so, but my thing is to stand firm on what it is that I truly believe,
Mhm.
and stay away from the frequencies that don't suit me. So that's where I am right now. And I think sometimes we have to get ourselves balanced, if I'm correct. Um, is to often, who's I talking to? I was just telling them sometimes you just got to take a deep breath. Just stop what you're doing.
You telling me that.
Take 3 deep breaths. Take that moment to hear nothing but the air around you. And sometime I would do that. I'll step outside in the sun, hit my skin, and just take 3 deep breaths. And then I can hear every bird, every whisper of wind that comes by. And
Mm-hmm.
I swear I can hear everything that's being built miles away. I can hear everything moving miles away.
That's being in tune.
Yeah.
Have you started looking at the sun?
Um, I'm nocturnal. Sun hurts my eyes. I keep my house dark, but I would go out. I don't look directly into the sun. The moon, I do, but the sun, I don't because it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Do you feel like now you're in a stage where you can be just a full active observer?
Do I feel like that?
Mm-hmm.
I think I haven't. I don't. And I pride myself now where I used to be that chatty person, or I gotta have not have the last word, but I gotta throw in that I know. Oh no, that doesn't work. But I'm now into position after my hiatus. People have noticed it also, and
Mm-hmm.
they notice that you just sit there and you're so quiet. You're so quiet, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just here to learn, listen, and see if there's anything that I don't know. And every now and then I may listen, I offer a suggestion or something, and it would be very beneficial at that time that I do get a chance to speak up or something. But there are times when I'm like, no, I'm just going to go here and sit. I'm not going to say anything. And I often, of course, ask Angel Michael to hold my tongue, because I figure like I'm going to say something. It's not to debate someone, but is to shed my knowledge. And then, but what I'm finding, sometimes people don't want you to know, to share what you know. It's because then they're saying, "Oh, you're being controlling, you're too bossy. Oh, you harsh," or something like that. So now it's just a matter of, and I have been coached a couple of times by Spirit. Just listen, whether you agree with them or not. Just listen.
Or is it because your frequency is at a level that they are not, and so they don't have the ability to hear what it is that you have to say and receive it?
That's very possible because often, sometimes I would ask this person, "Am I speaking a different language?" I'm not trying to be funny, but it seems as though I'm speaking English, but you don't understand what I'm saying, or you repeat exactly what I'm saying, but you say it in your words.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I just said that.
Uh-huh.
So I sometimes I just shut down because I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. I really don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what it is too. You're at a stage where, like we said, the shedding. So a part of the balance is to shed. So you got your boundaries, your balance, and your shedding.
Hmm.
What you won't tolerate anymore is your boundaries, your standards. And it used to be, oh, you were sedity because your standards were so high. No, you understood your worth.
Hmm.
So now it's prided in women that understand their worth. Well, individuals, period. And now it's not that your standards was too high. You actually had boundaries. And within those boundaries were if you weren't of a certain caliber, and it's no judging, but you're here to evolve, not to move backwards. And as I'm evolving, I'm assisting others. But that evolving part is for you because
Hmm.
you're here on mission. You're not just here. It is all fun and game because you are here to learn. But at the same time, you're not here to go backwards. It doesn't make sense to go backwards. And you going backwards again creates ailments within the body because your body doesn't want to withstand or withhold such a low frequency when it personally knows you better than that.
Hmm.
So I think when you enter in these rooms now, those rooms are no longer for you. Those conversations are, I'm not going to say beneath you, but they're not at the frequency of where you are now. again, you on mission, you on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So back then it was, I want to create a community like this. I want to do these things and I want to make sure that I'm providing and being of assistance. But like you said, not everybody wants assistance. And that was one thing we had to learn. I think we had this conversation a couple of years too. We have to be mindful and not interceding or intercepting in other people's karma or within their lessons. I'm not gonna say karma, I'm gonna say lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, we think we helping a situation by giving our 2 cents or by giving our guidance, and then we wondering why. I almost was gonna curse. We wondering why things aren't working out the way that we want them to work out. Well, it's because you was helping Joe Blow over there, and now Joe Blow then went like this, and you wondering why you slowly going like this because you didn't gave your currency away for free.
Mm-hmm.
Energy is currency, and you wondering why. Okay, well, spirit is like, I gave you these gifts, and you you know you doing what with it? What do you mean? That's like, I'm telling you, you're not touchable. You are untouchable. You can walk through the night with all of the crackheads and everything. You walk through them though. You don't go sit and engage with them and say, "Hey, man, if you did this, it was gonna do that." Those people have to live their lives and go through what it is that they chose
Right.
because that's their free will. It's not up to you to go sit with them and tell them, there's a better way. You can minister from a distance, or you can minister and walk through, or you can minister and be an active observant. But you ain't always got to sit at the table.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's absolutely true. Yeah, I
yeah,
had to learn that from someone speaking to me, and simple words she said to me, and it's like stuck with me for. And then I'm like, what? Oh, that makes sense. But when I was doing this, oh, this is what I should have done. I should have backed off instead of saying, okay, they didn't get it right. Let me keep going. Let me keep trying to pull them to the water and show them that they can drink, but they just got to learn how to filter the water. So okay, they didn't do it, so let me filter it for them and bring them back to the water.
and that wants your job.
Yeah, so that taught me, yeah, okay, but when the resistance is strong, I need to just let off, really.
Yes, yes. And again, we keep talking about those ailments in the body, but when you go against yourself, it's gonna show up either sooner or later. And like you say, you get little signals. You might get the little ear pain. Okay, I'm gonna ignore that. Then it's like, okay, now I got the pain in the neck. I'm gonna ignore that. It'll go away. But now I got this and it's throbbing and now it's swole. Okay, well, I told you from the ear and I done told you from the neck. That was 2 times I warned you.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna have to make you lay down because you don't know how to act right.
Mm-hmm.
you know? So that's the same situation with, okay, when you went in this room the first time, you observed and you was like, yeah, why am I in here? That was your first knack to be like, yeah, this is not for me. But you didn't went in there the second time. Now it's a whole little fight then broke out. And you like, okay, let me get my 2 cents. Now Wanda then took your 2 cents, took it to her community, built her community up, and now they didn't forgot about you. But you knew when you walked in the room the first time that that room wasn't for you.
I think too, there's free will,
Yep.
but for me, I'm like, but in me is saying continuously, and I think this is where uh the message I'm getting, instead of keep asking God, how can I serve you? Or you, no, it was like, use me to be served. Use me, 'cause that's the old way people used to talk. Use me to be served. I'm trying to get the word.
Demanding.
Use me, use me to be served. And it says, no, we shouldn't think like that. Our concern and the word should be coming out of our mouth is, how can I serve others so I may be served in return?
Hmm.
So service and it didn't mean in charity.
Mhm.
When serving others, it's could be anything. It's like preaching the words, have guiding this person that's on a wayward path, or maybe
Mhm.
guiding them to say, okay, let me educate you how to get a job, how to keep a job, how to not keep be angry in your marriage,
Mhm.
things, such things as that. And so, and it also equate to, because I used to really didn't want to charge for anything. I just felt bad to charge for stuff.
Mhm.
And it's saying no, energy is money.
Yeah.
Money is
It's
energy, and you should not. sh- the quick words, but anyway, you should not be ashamed to ask for to to be reimbursed for your energy.
mhm.
It's really okay, because that's how it works here on earth.
Mhm.
But the thought of being able to go into a conversation or go into a situation and not be able to, like, well, you see, you need to do this right here, you need to do that, learn how to listen.
Mhm.
So that's my thing, like, okay, I got advice, I know what to tell them. No, sit back, hold your tongue. And I bite my tongue, but I just, after a while it hurts and I gotta say something. But then what I learned to just ask Archangel Michael to, like, hey, gird
mhm.
my tongue, allow me to only speak what is what's filling, what's nourishing, and what's beneficial.
Mhm.
And if someone could say something that would hurt my feelings or whatever, don't take offense. Just says, okay, that's how they think.
Mhm.
We don't have to agree. That's how they think.
Mhm.
But take heed in what another person is saying. Because that's
Mhm.
their energy, and learn from the energy that they're putting out, so that you're aware of that, that's the energy that you don't want to be a part of. When it comes at you like that in a negative way or whatever, back off, leave it alone, and address it another time. If not, if possible, don't address it again.
Mhm.
Because once you put the message out there and it's for their benefit, they will definitely see it later. They don't see
Mhm.
it today, they will definitely see it later. And they will remember the words that they were taught. So yeah, that is something I had to learn. It's always like, bite your tongue. Always move. Don't be so fast to move forward. And I think that was one of the things that had people so easily and quick to call. Well, Denise, no, check Denise. Denise will do this. Denise will do that.
Mhm.
Learn to say no.
Yeah.
I don't have the time to do that, because I don't like to
Mhm.
lie. I'm not a good liar.
Mhm.
But what I can adjust, I'm like, no, I'm not available to do that. I'm not able to do that right now. I'm not able to join you all right now.
Mhm.
Because like I said, the barrage of calls, and the lady wanted me to go to a workshop tonight and whatever. Well, that might be beneficial for her at that time, but the subject that was being taught, I'm not really
Yeah.
interested in it.
Mhm.
I'm not really interested in. I usually just go to support, and I'm like, no, I'm not interested in it.
Yeah.
I won't. Simple. I don't have to give you an explanation. I'm just not
Mhm.
going tonight. I'm not going.
Yeah. Stop explaining yourself and be okay with saying no.
Mm-hmm.
I think one I want to go back to about the relationship with money. And then two, why do we feel guilty about saying no?
Me?
No, I'm just saying, period. Sometimes you feel like and I'm just saying, just in general, you feel like you have to commit to things, just to show support. And then you realize you show all of this support, you do all of these things in the community. And I'm just saying in general, not just you. But then when it comes to you, people are okay with saying no. But with you, it's I'm going to show up, show out, and make sure I be there.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that some feel inclined or feel guilty for setting that boundary of the power of no?
I think for some of us, I ran across some people that I have a cousin for sure had
Mhm.
no problem saying no, and I just, but she said so mean, and I'm just like, oh, and it'll go from no, no, absolutely not, that kind of thing. Like, you don't have to be so mean about it. But for me, I equate that to the way I was raised,
Mhm.
and the wordings that were embedded in my brain with saying no, or using the word lucky, or certain words. And right now today it's still like hesitate to use those words.
Mhm.
But to say no, um it was like, oh, you're being disrespectful, or depend on who asks you, or something like that. You look at, especially if it's an older person or professional person, you don't want to say no to them. They say, oh, because you don't know that you may be there's a gift behind that, or whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, but if I say yes, I'm still like doing it on the hopes that I get money behind it.
Uh,
So, I'm saying no, and then you're going along with someone that you really don't believe in, but to keep the faith with them, or to keep that camaraderie.
mm,
I think that word and that displaying that, it hits different people different ways,
mhm.
because, like I say, because of the way I grew up. Now, I honestly don't have a problem saying no.
Mhm.
Personally, I don't have a problem saying no. But when I say no, I mean it.
Mhm.
So, but there are times when I don't say no. When someone say, "I need you. Would you come and do this? Would you come and do that?" The spur of the moment, come and do that, and I jump to say, "Okay," before analyzing. Now, this person, I haven't seen them or heard from them in a minute. They have,
Mhm.
but I have the time to go and do what they knew. They know I have a truck, or whatever the situation
Yeah.
may be. So I'm like, I don't lie. So therefore, I just go ahead and do it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, well, maybe they'll do the same for me next time. But that next time when they want maybe do something for me, I'm like, no, that's okay. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't want anything for it.
The ultra independent.
So
Um.
yeah, but I think a lot of times people say no and don't mean it, is because I don't want them talking about me, or this is going to be said about me if I say no, whatever. But I rather you just go ahead and say no and be done with it, then I move on.
Mhm.
And that's what I do. I don't make up an infinite answer behind the no, open end. No, I'm not
Mm,
able to do it. No,
mhm.
I can't lend you anything. I don't have money to lend. Yes,
Mhm.
I have money. I have money. That's why you called me. But
Mhm.
no, I don't have any to lend.
Mhm.
That's not a lie. So I feel good when I do it like that. And that way, um,
So I feel good when I do it like that.
yeah, I'm telling you the truth. I don't have nothing to lend. I got it for me.
Right.
I have a project I'm working on. So if I'm willing to share, I'll share. But if I don't want to share it with you, then no, I'm not gonna do it. So yeah,
Mhm.
it took me a minute to do that. And before, I'm like, I don't care if they pay me back or not. They probably won't. And I'll just go ahead and do it. When I'm doing it free will out of my heart, then that's not a problem. But I refuse to do things now, say, yeah, I'll do this for you, and really don't want to be bothered with you, or really don't want to do it. So that bothers me more and longer than if I would just said no. So I just think that is something, too, as humans, that we have to work on, and just being honest. That's just part of being honest. It's
Mm.
grateful.
Yeah. I think that goes back to like you said, how you raised.
Mhm,
Because you have this need for affiliation, need for acceptance.
mhm,
So it's like if I don't tell you no, then you accept me, and then whatever I have perceived in my head about me saying no, of you judging or having this preconceived notion about me, I'd rather just say yes so that you don't go and,
mhm,
that comes with a, again, need for acceptance.
right.
Because that was something you wanted with your family. I always want to make mommy proud. I always want to make daddy proud. I always want to make grandma proud. It's always some type of need for acceptance.
Right, right, right.
And then you carry it on into your adult life until you hit this tender age of let me sit still and reflect. And where has that gotten me over the years?
Exactly. So, like I said, I don't have a problem saying no. I'm working on the self care time, taking time for myself, balancing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm busy trying to balance, so I don't really have time for any outside of things that's not really on my frequency or
Yeah.
connecting with me. So
No.
I don't allow myself to put myself in that type of positions anymore, you know. So it's like, oh, we got a meeting here. Before you know, it's a meeting here, meeting. But when I was doing it, I didn't realize that I was so busy. But other people were saying, "You everywhere, you ever." To me, I didn't see it because when I scheduled to go these places or meetings or whatever or events, it was scheduled, and
Mhm.
therefore I made time to do it. But I didn't make time to self care. So if there was any open slot on my daily schedule, that was open for somebody else to take,
Now,
and can't do that anymore.
and now your calendar is filled with things that you genuinely love and like.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think one thing that I'm learning, because when I left corporate, I was all about going with the flow. But also, you have to have some type of direction with going with the flow. What is
Mm,
it that you really want to accomplish? What is it that you really want to do? And how you going to get there? It may not
you froze. Okay, now
Uh-oh. You
now
can't
you.
see me?
Hmm.
Okay. Did you hear anything I said?
How'd you gonna get there? That's where I
Yeah,
got.
yeah, yeah. So I remember when I was little, man, I used to always write post-it notes and I would have dates and things would literally, happen how I wanted it to happen. And so then I say, well, let me change it and just start making a list of things that I want to do, but start putting dates and actually just start checking them off.
Right.
Then I noticed things would take a little longer versus when I put actual dates and say, you know what, I'm gonna knock this out by this date. And unconsciously, I'm not knowing that I'm working towards getting it done and it gets done by that date.
Mm-hmm.
Versus when I just make my list, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't finish the laundry today. But if I had, I'm going to finish the laundry by March 31st at 9 o'clock. I
Mm-hmm.
know I will get it done exactly on March 31st. It may not be at 9 o'clock because, again, I have to be resilient and flexible with the time, but I knew it was going to get done on the 31st.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like now, what I'm learning is because time is speeding up,
Wow.
or either we going slow. Who knows? Who really knows what's going on? But the year of the horse means to propel forward.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, it's moving fast because the stallion got to go. We wild horsing out here. You either gonna be able to ride the horse or either you gonna be dragged by the horse. You have to make that decision. So, you know, I'm liking the idea of putting things on calendars, but not necessarily setting times. Like ideally, I wanted us to do this yesterday, but we both born on Tuesday. Tuesdays is our work days. So let's be honest about this. You get what I'm saying? So the calendar is not always a bad thing, but the timing, we have to be flexible with the timing. And I also feel like everything that's happening right now is still teaching you the lesson of relinquishing control, but
Mm-hmm.
still have a vision of where you want to go, but be flexible and still flow and know that it may not happen exactly at 11:11. I don't know why I said that time, but it may not happen exactly at that time, but it's going to happen on that day.
Right. And that's what I was saying. I think the last time is that I just write it down. I just make a list, a checkoff list, right?
Uh-huh.
And if it's 5 or 6 things, I'm like, I may not accomplish all of that. But these are the things that need to be done. So if I accomplish the three things out of that list, I'm good. I don't put a time on it or a date. I'll just say, okay, this needs to get done this week. This needs to get okay. That was done. All right. What's
Uh-huh.
next? And once I start the project, I may ask tell my phone to give me a timer. Give me 30 minutes
Mm.
because of my back. I limit myself so I don't
Yeah.
overdo it. And I'm like, give me 30 minutes. That 30 minutes come up. I'm like, wow, I haven't really did nothing but stood up and look at it for the first 30
Mhm.
minutes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I give myself another 30 minutes and say, okay, I need to get this accomplished.
Mhm.
And I would get it done. If I don't finish that project right then when that bell goes off, I leave it.
Yep.
I come back and I rest or I go to the next project. And
Mhm.
I continue, but it gets done.
And you don't feel bad about it either, do
No, I do not. And
you?
I'm
Yeah.
saying we put ourselves into this cage of gotta get it done, gotta get it done, gotta get it done. When we were growing up, things gotta get done because the parents want it done before they get home. Because they had a lot to do. So things had to get done in a certain way. So the family, when they rest at night, jobs are completed.
Yes.
So, and I get that. And then so you grow up with that. And then when you're
Yeah.
working, you got to be to work at 8 or whatever. And then, look at the time, you got 2 hours, then you take a 15-minute break, then you come back and then you have to continue doing whatever. But then it's like when I hired a young man, I'm like, okay, we need to do this today, this today, this today. This is the three things I won't get done. And so I would put it in the and I would just put it, we just start working. And then I'm like, okay, and I time myself. I'm like, okay, I look at the time. We've been out there for a few minutes. I'm like, okay, this ain't going too fast, but let me just go ahead and just find a way to speed it up a little bit. Or I
Mm-hmm.
just said, okay, you know what? Whatever it takes to get this done today, this is all we're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And I can hire him tomorrow. We can come back and finish it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how I look at it now. Because before everything had to be on a time. I kept myself.
Uh-huh.
Everything had to get done. I didn't complete this today. Oh, and making myself feel bad. I didn't do my laundry today. Oh well. Oh well. Nobody wear those clothes but me. So why isn't it hers? Because at the end of the month, I'm doing laundry. What today is the 31st or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I haven't washed my towels, and I still got a closet
It's
full of
still gonna
towels.
be there. Yep.
I have a closet full of towels.
Yep.
Girl, stop tripping. And
Mm.
when you get it, you get it. Simple.
Yep.
You get it, you get it.
Yep. You put that worry and your stress on self and
I'm
on
get it.
yourself for what?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And the takeaway from this is you finally putting stuff on your calendar for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're not labeling your calendar to take care of everything externally outside of you. You're putting things on your calendar that benefit and make you feel good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that tells you right there, you already relinquishing the past and moving forward because now you understand that you are the head, you are first.
Mm-hmm.
You
Definitely.
know, and anything that don't align with you, then guess what? It has to fall off the line. If
Yeah.
it can't get on the horse with you, then what? Guess what? It
Yeah.
ain't galloping with you, is it? Because we not bringing no what's the coach that the horses carry? Nobody said that we was gonna bring a little princess carriage. No, we riding the horse by ourselves,
Yeah.
and
Just say
everything else can't come with you. So
right. This time is not waiting on no one.
at
Things
all,
that need to be accomplished. We've been warned. Make sure you got everything lined up because when this starts, the year the horse starts, it ain't waiting on nobody.
at all, and we already see that. We in April now.
I
The
know.
year feel like it just started yesterday. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You keep losing it.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
That's probably telling us it's about to be 1 hour. Y'all better wrap it up.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. That's fine.
But I really, really enjoyed this conversation because man, we definitely be revisiting the past.
Yeah, we
And
do.
now it's time to do some things we talked about what we was gonna do. And in order to do that, we can't be talking about, Oh, this how I was in old time. Oh no, you can't bring that thought process to where we going because it don't exist.
It
You
don't, but the
know?
lessons does. The
Yes, the
lessons does.
lessons,
We cannot
absolutely,
we cannot ignore the lessons. We went through that for a reason.
absolutely.
Yeah.
The lessons and the wisdom acquired we bring with. But
Mm-hmm.
them old conversations and them old raggedy draws, they can't come with us.
Oh well. All
All right, Mama, I love you.
right. Love you
And
more, and talk to
I
you
can't wait
later.
to see you.
All
Yes.
right, baby. Bye bye.
All right, Mama.